I review all sorts of golf products here on Let's Play Through, but one thing that I have yet to review is golf nets. And I get a ton of requests from viewers about reviewing the best golf nets. So I wanted to find, well, what is the best golf net? I reached out to my friends over at playbetter.com where I get all my technology for this show. They've been a sponsor of this show for many, many years. And I said, what's the best bang for buck net that you guys carry? I want to give it a review. They told me about the Net Return and they sent me one. So on today's video, I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to put it together. They claim that this net can get put together in 5 minutes or less. So we're going to actually see if that's the case. I kind of doubt it because I am like the least handy person on earth, but I'm gonna do my best. We're gonna put it together. We'll see if it fits here in my indoor studio, but I've already got an enclosure from playbetter.com. It's their Carl's Place enclosure that I really love, permanently here in the studio. So I may need to actually move it outside to my backyard. Either way, I'll probably bring it outside as well, just to give it a test with my kids and see how they like having a net in their backyard. Hopefully we're gonna have some fun, learn something together, and I'm gonna at least learn about a new product that I know nothing about. So let's get the box out and let's get to work. All right, so here's the box that came from playbetter.com. Decent sized box, call it 4 feet by 1 foot. And I believe this net is like 8 feet by 8 feet, but we're gonna find out. There's actually a couple of different sizes. Anyways, let's go ahead and open this guy up. Opening the box, what's nice about this is it actually seems to come with its own carrying case, which is really cool. Now this thing is heavy. I'll say this is, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds, I'm guessing. I'm absolutely guessing. I have not done a ton of research on this product. And as I mentioned, this is not a sponsored review from Net Return or anything like that. The reason I love working with playbetter.com is because I can just ask them for something like this. And they don't care if my review's positive, negative, indifferent, whatever. They just want me to give an honest impression. That's exactly what I'm going to do here today. So inside, everything again is kind of wrapped up nice and neatly. So look what we have here. One bigger kind of pole with a net wrapped around it. And we've got a number of different pieces here. All right, here's where we're going to go ahead and officially put me on the clock to actually see how long it takes to set this thing up. They claim 5 minutes, probably 5 minutes after you've gotten the hang of it. But I'll let you know how long it takes. I'm going to set a stopwatch on my phone. Here we go. All right, so very clear instructions for someone like me who does not like instructions, I've got to say. Let's go ahead and get all these pieces out. Like I said, individually wrapped. We've got, I don't know, yellow, red piece. Oh, they're color coded. That's kind of cool, actually. Brown on one side, yellow on the other side. This is an orange and red. This is a red and yellow, or burnt orange and yellow, I'm not sure. White and magenta? Blue and black? Blue and magenta. White and yellow. Doesn't seem massive, I'll say that. Does not seem like absolutely massive, which is good. And doesn't seem like I'm gonna need tools to build this either. It looks like it's gonna snap together, which I love. Boy, there's a lot of colors. First step. Lay out 14 tubes as shown. Done it. Bam. Find 4 tubes labeled base and connect them to each other, matching the color stripes together. Make sure the label says base is facing up and can be read. That's very important. Okay. Base. Okay, I got one base. It's written right here. Base. Base. That's 2. Base. It said 4 pieces, but I only got, there's supposed to be 4. Base. Okay, 4. Okay. Now we're gonna attach them by color, with base being up. Ooh. All right. Here's what I got, one big giant pole. That's step 2. Step 3, next, locate the 2 upright tubes and connect them vertically to the base. Step 3 complete. Step 4, continue to build your frame, connecting the tubes to the identical stripes. Step 5 now. There's a tip here on step 5 that we can actually tilt this back down, and I'm gonna attach the rest of this and then we'll tilt it back up. I think it's now time for our net to come out as well. All right. Woo, don't fall over. Okay. All right, so we are getting somewhere. I'm gonna attach the pink in here. Move this net down. Voila. The other side here. And the last piece here. There we go. Woo. All right, I think it's time to raise this bad boy up. Okay. Stretch this net out. Oh, nice. Just slides right down this pole. I'm just pulling it like a shower curtain here now. Bam. All right, there we are, 19 minutes, well, let me stop it, and 21 seconds, and I've got this thing set up. So not quite the 5 minutes that they claim, but I didn't think it was gonna take me 5 minutes the first time. However, I could see having to do this again now that I know what the heck I'm doing. I could probably get this done in 5 minutes. Interestingly enough, this is not necessarily attached. Even though there is some Velcro back here, it doesn't seem like it actually does anything. Although, you know what? I'm gonna put it there. It doesn't say you have to put it there, but I will put it here just to attach it. I mean, I have no idea if that's gonna actually do anything, but at least it's attached there. But back here, it's not. So are the balls gonna go underneath here or not? I have no clue. I would have thought that there'd be Velcro here, maybe here, and kind of bring it all the way around, but it's not that way. Very interesting, but here's your look from behind. All right, so I'm just gonna push this back as far as it'll go. Actually, I can push it right back to the edge inside of my enclosure here. All right, so we are gonna have enough space here inside to do this. My kid's gonna be home from school soon, so we'll actually drag it outside and surprise them. And let me get the mat back in here. Now, a lot of people ask me what mat I recommend. I am gonna leave some links down below to some ones that I absolutely recommend. And you gotta spend a little bit more money on a mat. It's really important if you don't wanna get injured playing simulator golf or using your launch monitor to practice out in the backyard or indoors, whatever. Make sure you invest in a high quality mat. It pays dividends in your joints and the longevity of your golf swing, believe me. So we've got the mat in here. I've got a couple of balls, and I'm gonna give you a little treat here today for all those who decided to watch this video. This is a sneak peek of the new Mere Mortal irons. This is the Prototype 7 iron. I think it's absolutely beautiful. We're gonna be selling these in about a month. Stay tuned. That's your little bonus for actually watching this video, which I know is a different video for the channel, but I appreciate it. Well, you know what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna actually measure this. And whatever they claim on the website, we've got to verify anyway. So this is 8 feet. I know you construction people are probably laughing at me right now about how I'm using this tape measure, but it is what it is. Yeah, 8 feet by 8 feet. All right, let's take the 7 iron, and if this thing works correctly, it should hit this net and actually come right back to me. That's why it's called the net return after all. Whoa. It did return. It didn't quite get all the way to my feet, but it came back most of the way there. Ooh, I think that actually would have come back all the way, except my mat is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches above the substrate there. Boy, maybe my fears are quelled. I thought they would get stuck underneath here since this is just sort of loose, but not an issue. Not an issue from what I can see. Look at it rolling right back. Wow, how about that? Now, there is one thing, or maybe two things that this is missing. All right, so out of the box, this is your setup, and it will work very well as long as you hit good, relatively straight shots. But if I spray it too much, I could potentially miss. And if I've got this outside and I'm in a neighborhood, I've got neighbors or whatever's around me, that could get ugly and expensive very, very quickly. We don't want that. We don't want that. So, a great basic setup here with the net return, but they also offer a couple of other add-ons to this, which we're gonna try out because Play Better happened to send me those too. We've got side netting, which will actually protect against any wayward shots right and left. And there's actually an overhead piece that you can buy separately as well, which will help you be able to put a wedge in your hand, maybe a 60-degree wedge or something like that if you wanna hit flop shots and not worry about it going over the net. As a net itself though, I like the design, I like the portability of it. I love that it comes with that carrying case. I'm actually gonna break this back down, bring it outside, and we'll set up those other pieces and see how those are. But, you know, for just a basic net, I really dig it. Let's go outside and check it out. So, extremely easy to break down. I actually just brought this in 3 pieces, got it right out the door, no problem. Here I am in my backyard, and we'll reattach this. And we are reset. That was easy. Now the grass is going to, whoop. Now that's interesting. I don't know if you saw that, but the wind kicked up and it wanted to push my net over. Something to think about. That was easy. That was very easy. So my kids are gonna be here in like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. I'm gonna wait around for them. I'm gonna get the mat out. I'm gonna get their clubs out. I think they're gonna be excited to see this. This wind could be a problem, and I don't want any issues with safety with my kids. So what I'm gonna do is secure the bottom. If you have a sandbag, I think that's really important. I've got a log here in my yard I'm gonna use as a little bit of a weight there, just so that thing doesn't fly over in the wind. Big, heavy firewood log should do the trick. That'll make it a little bit safer. All right, now let's wait for them. Here they come. Hey, how's it going?
What's that?
This is a practice net for you to try test out. You wanna give it a shot?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, buddy.
Hi, Daddy. What's that?
That is a practice net. You want to give it a shot?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Now, one other thing I'm going to use here are these biodegradable golf balls. I'll be reviewing these separately. I got them on Amazon. They were not cheap, maybe $50 or so, but you get 24 balls. And if we do hit an errant shot in the lake, at least we're not going to pollute the lake here. So hopefully we're not going to hit any shots to the right. That's really important. All right, first up to bat here is Mr. Marco. What kind of club are you swinging, Marco?
Driver.
All right. He's not even teeing it up. He's just going right off the deck. Woo! Now, interestingly enough, the ball hit the net. That was good. Didn't fly out of here, but it's not going to return as well when you've got grass like that. Obviously, there's no way for that to return. So you would have to have some sort of additional mat here on an outdoor space if you actually want this to return to you. All right, this is my son, Lucas. Which club are you going to go with?
Hybrid.
Okay, hybrid. Good choice. Woo! Nice swing, buddy. Woo! All right, he just hit one wide. That was a perfect reason why we need that side netting, by the way. What do you guys think?
Not sturdy.
You don't think it's sturdy?
No.
No?
Only with the log.
Yeah, only with the log. He's right. So that is absolutely one thing to think about here with the net return. Well, really two things here outdoors. First off, you've got to have some weight behind it, or you could potentially cause some injury. And secondly, again, if you actually want it to return and get the most out of this, you got to have something like a mat or some other carpeting or some other flatter surface that ball can actually come back to you. Otherwise, maybe you're better off going with just a basic net out there on Amazon. But like I said, there's a couple more things that I want to actually attach to this because I've got that side netting. That way my ball doesn't go into my neighbor's yard or into the lake. We've also got that top piece, so let's attach that now. All right, so side netting comes in this box, and what they call the no-fly zone came in this box. That's going to be the overhead. So we're going to set this up and we'll get the kids back out here to hit some more shots in a little bit more safe manner. Here are the instructions to attach the side barriers. We're just going to attach some Velcro there up at the top and kind of on the side here, and then we're going to use some sandbags that are provided, but we need to fill them with sand. I gotta see if I've got some sand. Would have been nice for that thing too, to be honest. Now luckily in my garage I did have a little spade and some sand, so you're going to have that if you're going to put this together, and we can fill these bags up here. I can also now replace that log with something that looks a lot better. These sandbags are going to be a much better, more useful way to hold it down and steady. All right, the side netting is now up. So what we did here is I attached Velcro up towards the top there. Then you can kind of peel away the Velcro from this side netting and attach it to the existing netting, and it'll attach right in. It's hard to explain, but it's pretty easy to do. And then I placed my sandbag here, Velcroed that in, and now we've got a lot more safety here for the kids. There's one more piece to the equation here, the no-fly zone, which is going to give me that top protection as well. I'm gonna attach that next. There's two support pieces that attach to the existing net return, and then there's like 3 pieces of pipe here that we're going to attach into, then hold the net. That net's going to drape right over the top here all the way. Now one little tip I recommend is actually detaching this until you set this pipe in. It seemed to work a lot easier for me. And last little bit, bam. All right, now it's time to actually lay the net here between the 2 support beams. Whew, that's a nice tight fit. All right, we've got it all set up now. We've got the no-fly zone up top. We've got the side netting on the sides. We are fully protected. Let's have some fun, boys. Nice shot. Oh, the side netting saved it right there. Nice. That was awesome. All right, so that's it. Set up and we've got action here in the backyard. So let's wrap things up here with the Net Return V2.0. Things I really like. I love the portability. I love how easy it is to put together. I love that it comes with that carrying case. I love that it comes with these accessories with the side net as well as that no-fly zone if you really want to deck this out and get the most protection possible. Now, while this can be used both indoor and outdoor, I think for me the best case scenario is going to be an indoor environment. That's where you can get the benefit of a flat floor where you're actually going to get the return of the golf ball. Otherwise, outdoors, I think it's a great net, but I think there's probably some better options out there for an outdoor use case where you can save a few bucks. Now, we got to talk about price here, and it is on the premium end for nets for sure. So the smaller version is going to be $5.95. The version you're seeing here, the 8x8, is $7.95, and that's before you deck it out with the side netting and the no-fly zone overhead. That can be close to $1,000 here. So this is not a cheap product, but it's not a cheap product either. You're getting high quality materials. That netting is very good. You do not want to have failure when it comes to your golf net, so best not to cheap out there. Everything fits together really nice. Looks like premium materials and lightweight for what they are. For the stability they provide, it's not light when you pick up that box, but it's not crazy heavy either. And again, very easy to disassemble, put together. So I really like that one. I had a blast. This is probably going to live in my backyard for a little bit, let the kids use it out here and practice their golf game. Now, if you're looking at nets, very likely your next question is going to be launch monitors. What's the best launch monitor for indoor and outdoor usage? Well, lucky for you, I put together this video here, so go ahead and watch that one. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hit subscribe, and I'll catch you back here next time on another edition of Let's Play Through.